Turn road. One of these two looking for the opportunity to join that parade here at the finals.
There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree.
004, take 003 left side, an 18 package gets it done for Dustin.
7 power the margin at the starting line for Loins. Win light gonna go to Loins.
Dustin Loins was perfect.
Running for Discount Tire and the Flying Firebird running for Mid-Michigan Motorplex.
Welcome back, guys, to another video. This is our first video of 2023. Thanks for coming back. We've been getting a lot of messages on Facebook asking us where we've gone, what we've been doing, if we're even making videos anymore. The answer is yes. Yes, we are still making videos. We kind of took a little bit of a break after the 2022 race season was done. Decided to take a break for a little bit, kind of catch up on some stuff with family and whatnot. It's good to be back in the studio doing some stuff. This is a video I've been wanting to put out for months now, ever since our bracket finals race. This has been in the back of my mind because this is kind of how our entire 2022 race season went. This video that we're putting out today is a finish line driving video, or maybe how not to do it, and also it's going to be a time slip review. So this video is not just one run, but it is two yellow slips. Well, these aren't really yellow, but we rode on them. Yellow, aka loser, in case we forgot how bad we are at driving the stripe. But these are two runs that I have video for, and I wanted to go over both of them. This is the same car, two drivers, one round apart, doing the exact same thing to the 10,000th. So let's get into today's video, and that is going to be all about finish line driving and time slip review. So let's get on into it. We're going to start right off with a side-by-side view here of the runs, and I want you to guess on what you think happened with this round between both cars. So here we go. First round, side-by-side action. Okay, what do you guys think happened here? Obviously, that was a loss. If you guessed we gave it back, you were right. We gave the stripe back by the exact same amount. Nick gave it back by 18 10,000ths. I come up the very next pass and give it back by 18 10,000ths. So that's what we're going to go over today. So this is going to probably be the main view I have right here. I do have our helmet cams, but this is going to give you a really good shot of what happens when we're going down the track and where you can see in comparison with where we're at to where the other car's at. The only thing that's going to be hard to see here is just where the finish line is 100%. And I don't know about Nick, but for me, when I'm in my door car or in the Camaro, since they're the same car basically, I like to gauge my finish line driving based off of, if I'm in the left lane, based off of our mirror, and pick a part on the car that I can gauge from my angle on the car. So when we're on the starting line, so I can kind of gauge that when we get to the finish line. I know some people like to do the look 90 and look and pick something on the car and focus on that, take a little snapshot in their memory. Some people like to just watch the front tires, kind of do a little bit of all of that. There's not really a wrong way, unless if you're not looking at all. In this view, you can see from this angle, front of the door handle is at the back of the mirror. So we're going to gauge off of that. We're going to do our best job finding the stripe. So here we go, dead even. There's the launch. And just so we know where you guys know where we're at here, Nick is dialed in at a 637. His opponent is dialed in at a 660. So there's just over 2/10 of a head start. Nick lets go 014. His opponent lets go 026. So Nick has the advantage by a little over 100th. We're going to get down to the finish line. Look, rip. Maybe one too many times. Now, I'm going to guess this is pretty much where the finish line is, because based on what he gave it back by, 18 10,000ths, the back of the mirror is about center part of the handle, the door handle. So again, I think he looked enough, but I think he ripped it, obviously one too many times, therefore giving the stripe back by 18 10,000ths. So the full run analysis here, Nick dials 637, 014 reaction time, runs almost 17 thousandths above his dial-in. His opponent dials 660, has an 026 reaction time, runs dead on 3. Now that's all great that he ran dead on 3, but Nick had the advantage of 12 thousandths at the starting line, one too many rips, one less rip, and that would have been a W for him. We can flip over here and I can look at our helmet cams. So again, if you look, his opponent's already pre-staged. If you look, he pre-stages and he doesn't look over. Okay, so that's a learning point. When you go in and pre-stage, like I was just talking about, when you go into pre-stage and everyone's pre-staged, man, you give a quick glance over at your opponent, get some kind of a snapshot in your brain there where you want to measure off of or gauge off of. So that way, when you get to the stripe, you can kind of use that snapshot in your memory there to as a picture to reference to drive the stripe. So I do that every single pass, whether I'm in eliminations or not. Nick does not do that here. So here we go. Man, let's go good. It's 14. Again, he has the advantage at the starting line. Gives a couple good looks. Now we're here a little bit before the finish line. We're actually before the mile-an-hour cone. And he is what I would think is ahead at this point in time. And if you look at his tack, he's out of the throttle right now. And we're just past the mile-an-hour cone. And let's see if he looks back. He does not. So, a couple things to take away from that. Again, look at the starting line when you're pre-staged. Get an idea where your opponent is compared to your car. And definitely do your best at trying to watch that car as you go through the finish line. Because in like this situation, 6 or 7 rips or whatever he did, that's all great. That's fine. Until you give it back. So just a learning piece of advice right there, just to try to keep things, you want to keep things tight and drive aggressive, but you don't want to be over aggressive when it comes to driving the stripe, because you do stuff like what we did a lot last year, and that was give the stripe back. I don't know how many times I gave it back by 00 something for a loss. So let's switch over to my run. So my run was pretty similar in how it was going to actually play out here. I dialed up a little bit just because I weigh a little bit more than Nick. So I dialed in at a 640, and my opponent here dials in at 672. So the run will look about the same. You're not really going to see too much difference here. Okay, let's roll up here. Looks like we're both staged. Now it's a little hard to see here because everything's washed out because of his car is so bright, but his door handle is about the same spot at the back of my mirror, and that's what I'm gauging off of. And for me, like I said, I don't know about what Nick does, but for me, when I pre-stage every single round, I'm looking over to see, once we're both pre-staged, I look over to see where that car is and pick a spot on my car or pick a spot somewhere that I want to gauge something off of. And I know a lot of people do that. Like I said, some people look at the front tire, some people look straight 90 degrees and whatnot. I like to reference a piece on the car of my car and reference that to where they're at on the starting line. So when we get to the finish line, I can hopefully successfully drive the stripe better than I do here. So again, his front of his door handle is at the back of my mirror. Let go. 008 reaction time for me. He comes in at a 003. So this was my best light of the weekend. And this was just a banger of a race. I come in, rip it, and do the same exact thing to the 10 thousandths. I give it back by 18 10 thousandths. I didn't hindsight, I didn't have to even get out of the throttle. I could have probably held that flat out and I would have went dead on for the W. But I do a couple quick little choppy rips just to try to make it tight. So I go 640 dialing, run a 41 with a 7. So I'm 17 thousandths off of my dial with a 008 light. You'd think that would normally be good for the W. He goes 672. He runs a 674 with a 0, so 20 thousandths above his dial-in, and has a 003 reaction time. So I had enough room to win. Again, didn't have to rip it like I did. Hindsight, but obviously you don't know that when things are that close. But let's flip over to my helmet cam and kind of get a quick glimpse of what we have here. Before we round this thing out. Rolling up to pre-stage, getting all set. We're leaving off the top bulb. I'm pre-staged, he's pre-staged. Get a quick glance at his front end. His, if you notice here, based off of the mirror, not quite as full wheel as behind the mirror. So we have just a smidgen of the wheel still in front of the edge of our mirror. So we want to reference that when we get to the finish line. Okay, good luck. In nice and shallow. Bam. We have a good light. Again, that was a 008 reaction time. He's 003. He has the advantage. There we go. Looking back over. Okay. And then we were between the mile-an-hour cone and the finish line cone. And now remember, if you look back to where we were at the starting line, we should be in front right now, based off of where his wheel is with our mirror. We are in front. As we cross the finish line, I'm looking back, and you can see his wheel is definitely in front of where we were. And big letdown, first round of the main event. Big ugh. That's it, guys. Just being a little bit too aggressive driving the finish line. But like I said, you can't make this up. We are one pass apart. Do the exact same thing to the 10,000th. That's why I wanted to include 2 in on today's video. Thank you for coming back and joining us in our first video back and first video of the 2023 race season. I can't wait to get back to the track and get running up at Mid-Michigan again this year in the no box class with the Firebird. We'll have the Firebird and the Camaro out. Awesome stuff. I can't wait. And on a side note, just so you guys know, see this? Finish Line Factory. If you guys haven't heard of them, they are a supplier of fuel system parts. We are an authorized dealer. If you guys are looking for anything fuel system related, hoses, hose ends, ORB fittings, fuel filters, adapters, all sorts of different stuff, couplers, we have all that available. Get a hold of us. We can get you guys hooked up. Thanks for stopping by and checking out this video. Hope you guys were able to learn something from it, and I can't wait to get back into the car and get things going. As soon as we get that barn done, we're going to start getting some more videos up for you. See you guys in the next video. Take care.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's room I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.